Do you want to pay for the government debt? Of course you don't. That debt is the government's debt, so it doesn't affect you. Yes, it does. It does affect you. The government is actually going to make you pay for it. You may not realize it, and it's going to happen whether you like it or not, and there's nothing you can do about it. Or is there? I'm going to tell you how they're going to make you pay for it, and then I'm going to explain at the end what you can do about it. Now, I put out this particular episodes a couple days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, on this show I just called "A Dollar is Dead." And the whole point of it, and the reason I call it that, is so that you understand and wake up to the fact that the dollar, like any other currency, loses value over time. So if you're holding on to dollars, you're getting poorer. In some countries you get poorer faster. In this country it's probably the slowest, but you're still losing value and getting poorer, unless you do what the rich do. The rich hold assets. So we'll get to that in a moment. Now, I do this show to help people get out of debt. I got out of substantial debt after a divorce. I have multiple businesses. I use credit cards in those businesses. I show how to use them to your advantage, not to your detriment. Get out of debt and achieve financial freedom. And real freedom is financial freedom. So like I always say, government does not care about you. They are not on your side. And the banks don't care about you either. They're just there to make money, and you're just a way to make money for them. So let's start turning the tables, and let's start creating wealth for ourselves, just like the ultra rich do. So first, inflation. You probably heard a lot about inflation recently, especially over the last couple of years, because it's gone up substantially. The Fed supposedly is doing what they can do to try to get inflation down. But the government might say, oh, inflation, that's terrible. But really, they don't mind it. It helps reduce the real value of the debt that they have. Also, because of inflation, asset prices go up. You've seen home values go up. Then what happens? Well, homes are taxed. People's earnings go up because people are now being paid more. If you look at the average salary over time, of course it's gone up. What is that? That's taxed. Where does the tax money go? To the government. So if they're getting more tax money now than they used to get, that's going to help them pay down the debt faster. So on the one side, they're going to be in front of cameras saying, we don't like inflation, but they like inflation because it's helping them reduce the value of that debt that they're taking on, and it's helping them get more money now and in the future to pay that debt down. Sometimes inflation has been shown to help stimulate economic growth. The U.S. measures that in GDP. And then when we look at debts of a nation, they often compare it to the GDP. There's a ratio. Just like on your credit card, they look at the utilization rate of how much credit are you taking out versus your credit limit. Well, with governments, they look at how much debt you have compared to your GDP and your economic output. So if inflation is helping economic output and your GDP is growing, then the ratio or percentage becomes less. So in terms of how much the country is generating versus how much it has in debt, that ratio will change, even though the U.S. debt is through the roof. And I think at the time I'm filming this, it's around $35 trillion. And I want to say it's gone up by 10 trillion or more just in the last 10 years or so. It's gone up substantially. There's also a thing, I believe they call it exporting their debt. So when the currency of the U.S. is devalued and they charge higher prices on those exports, they're essentially exporting that inflation. So in essence, even though people, politicians, whomever it may be, might say inflation's terrible, we don't like it, we're going to get it under control. It's not under control. It's been a problem for a while. They've been running up substantial debts, and inflation can help them. It's hurting you because inflation means your money is worth less. It helps the government because it makes it easier for them to pay their debt. So if inflation is helping the government, are they going to continue with inflation? They may not mind it being too high, but it's hurting you. So what can you do? Every Friday I do an episode based on how you can save like the rich. The rich don't sit on dollars. Sure, they have expenses just like you do. Emergency fund, monthly expenses, etc. But as you save over time, and I'm not talking about your stocks that you might invest in or your IRAs or maybe you have a pension or some sort of retirement plans, just talking about your basic savings. It doesn't have to sit there in dollars as it grows. You can buy assets, gold, silver, cryptocurrency, things that grow in value over time while the dollar depreciates in value. So don't hold on to things that go down, grab things that go up. So take a look, please subscribe so you see this show, and take a look at that Friday show that I have where I update prices of commodities, and you can see how it compares to February when I started it. I've been doing it for years, but I've been doing a show just so over time people can see visually 12 months from now, I'm sure this basket of goods, of commodities, will be worth more than the dollars, so people can see, look, this actually works. I want you to think like the rich. I want you to emulate and act like the rich so that you can create real lasting value and real freedom, which is financial freedom. If you enjoy this content and it's helpful, please subscribe so you see future videos and my Get Out of Debt videos, as well as my videos to help you create passive income and grow your wealth. And I always appreciate a like if it's been helpful, but only if it's been helpful. Thanks for watching.